What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 14. Happy Monday.
Yep.
I'll be posting this tomorrow. I'm Hassan.
I'm Sam, and I do want to mention that it is Hassan's birthday.
Oh, no, we ain't mentioned
228. So wish that boy happy birthday down in the comments.
Thank you.
Anyway, so we decided to talk not sports today, just solely based on the world news, and the big topic that's going on right now is the Ukraine-Russia crisis. So I haven't really gotten too much into the facts and haven't done any that much research, but I've just seen a lot of videos on TikTok and stuff like that.
I got you. From what my understanding is, what people say is they seen him coming because Putin was part of the KGB, I believe it's called, a while ago. He was a part of it when the Soviet fell. So everybody knew that he would always want to put it together. But I believe what happens that Ukraine was having talks or wanting to join NATO. That's not good because Ukraine's on Russia's border.
Right. And
so as a power strut, and pretty much Putin's going to try to invade and throw out the government and instill a Putin-friendly...
Like a puppet government.
Almost. Yeah, a puppet government.
And I know that's what he's got. He's got a puppet government down in Crimea, which is on the southern border of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right now. I know he did that. I think it was in 2014. As far as I know right now, like Hassan said, NATO nations are not getting involved because Russian soldiers have not touched foot on NATO soil yet.
Yeah. But with the people, you don't want the United States to be involved.
No.
Because then it is a world war.
Right.
And you don't want that.
I was going to say that's... And what a lot of people think is, going back to what Hassan said with the whole KGB deal, Putin's got some, what's the word I'm looking for? Fantasies of putting back the old Soviet Union back together because he believes that the Soviet Union was disrespected during World War II. That they did all the work and the United States got all the praise for it. And so I think the old Soviet Union countries would include, I don't believe Poland was one of them. I know there's a couple NATO countries that are now that would have been Soviet Union, old Soviet Union countries.
You know what's crazy? Kazakhstan has a Putin-friendly puppet government, and they refused to help Putin when he reached out and asked.
That's good, though.
That's
great. We need that.
His back's kind of against the wall, even though they have probably the largest nuclear arms force.
I was going to say they have the largest nuclear arsenal in the world right now, more than the United States.
Yeah, there's a reason we're not sanctioning the oil and gas, because we need it.
Yeah, I know that today they just came out, and the United States and everybody else is sanctioning the SWIFT bank system. So for those of you who don't know the SWIFT bank system,
they removed them.
They removed them from it. I know there's only a few banks. They left a few banks in Russia.
They froze a lot of their central
But it's
banks.
pretty much freezing assets for Russia to make any economical moves within the international market. So
see, that's what Putin's he's always been trying to sanction-proof his country. I watched a video on this. That's why he has really good relations with China, and a lot of their economy comes to China, but their economy is hurting bad.
Yeah, well, and I've heard stories, but I believe the Chinese president is Xi Jinping. He said, I know when Russia took Crimea, that there were sanctions put against Russia back in 2014. I believe Obama was the president, and China actually helped back Russia, and I know that Russian and Chinese trade has gone up almost 40% ever since 2020.
Yeah.
So. I wouldn't be surprised if China decided to do it again and try to back Russia
100%.
during this conflict as well. And then, if there were to be a world war, I guarantee you China would back Russia there as well.
100%.
And I know China came out and said something that they don't agree and they discondone what Russia is doing to Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
But I believe that that's kind of just a what do you call that? It's just false. It's just it's just something to throw out there to make the public perception of China look a little bit better, so that people don't see China as backing Russia. But I believe that China will eventually.
I don't think China likes democracy. They don't like the Western world.
No, and I don't believe Russia does either.
Yeah, I feel like Russia's still stuck in the old school, which I know they have a bunch of advanced stuff. But there's a reason countries like the Great Britain, Australia, United States are one of the best.
Yeah.
France, Germany. Germany not really, but They are
Germany's
one of the
been
best.
downhill ever since World War II. Not downhill, but they just haven't been as strong.
They haven't been the best.
And we did that on purpose because we didn't want another uproar in Europe.
Completely crippled their economy.
Yeah. So we'll see what these sanctions do, what the SWIFT bank sanctions do against Russia. Their whole goal is with these sanctions is to obviously make sure that Russia, pretty much doesn't have an economy, so they can't fuel the war. But like I said, I believe that China will step in and help Russia out. And I know that the United States is sending a whole bunch of troops to Poland right now.
Yeah.
Poland is right on the northwestern border of Ukraine. So that's the next worry is that, say something does happen where Russia does invade into Poland, well, that's like Hassan said, that starts World War III. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Yeah, that's why they don't want the United States involved at all.
Yeah.
Because it would 100% start. I think Putin's waiting on Biden to make a move.
Yeah.
Like one bad move and then button.
That's why. I know that Putin came out with a speech that he said to the Russian people, and I know there's been a couple experts on like body language and how people speak, and this lady, I can't remember her name, came out and pretty much said that that Putin is very deranged. He's in his own world. Yeah. He is kind of stuck in his own little fantasy land right now, and that's a scary thing to think about because people don't realize that man is usually, 2 feet away from pressing a button, and there goes our world and as we know it. And it's just that's why I think it goes to show the importance of voting, the importance of who you're putting in office, whether it be the local level, that
local level could eventually be the higher level,
right? The presidential level, whatever the case may be, and you got to know what you're voting for. So, and I know where Trump is in the past, but I did see a poll come out that I think 64% or 72%, I can't remember the number, something high number came out and said that 64 to 72% of the people came out and said that if Trump were in office, this would never have happened.
Yeah, like this is not being political at all or being biased to left or right. I feel like this is a fact, and a lot of people agree with me that if Trump was in office, this wouldn't happen. Biden, although he adds a lot, he just, from the world view and from my view, even though I'm 18 years old and I just be able to vote, he seems very soft. Mm-hmm. Trump was that firm leader, and I'm not being biased or political at any sides. I'm just stating facts from my opinion.
Yep.
If Trump was in office, I feel like this would not happen because him and Putin were friends, even though Trump is a terrible person.
Yep.
But he's a good face for the country.
Yep.
Because he's a firm.
I wouldn't necessarily say good face. I would just say that he was a big enough wild card to where if Putin
that's better wording,
did do something to the extent of try to use a nuke, that he knows that Trump would have been crazy enough to press the button as well. Yeah. And I think that's why Putin respected him. When it comes to Putin, what people don't realize is Putin has already seen Biden as vice president, so he can already. He already senses and knows what Biden does and will do. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure every leader, every good leader, whether it be Putin or Boris Johnson over in the United Kingdom, all those guys know exactly what Biden would probably do because they've seen him. So
it just what it feels like, at least, and I could be wrong. Maybe you could think different. So like you can push Biden more and more and more, and he's not going to snap. Mm-mm. He'll just. More sanctions.
Yep.
More sanctions.
Well, and that's a good thing now, obviously.
Economic warfare is good, but it's not going to solve the problem right now.
Yeah, no. And
when lives are being lost.
I'm glad, some people are like, well, why don't we just go into Ukraine? Well, that would be dumb on our part. Yeah. So what we're saying is I think Biden is doing a good job with the sanctions. He's doing what he should be doing. I know that he also did a good thing with the what is that pipeline? Runs from Russia to Germany. What was it called? The Nord 2 pipeline? Is that what it was called?
No idea.
There's a pipeline that ran from Russia to Germany. Pretty much cut that off. Put sanctions on that.
Speaking of pipelines.
So I think that's a good thing. He's doing what he should be doing right now, but we will see farther down the road if this becomes a bigger issue and this ends up starting to be a World War III or whatever. That's when real leadership comes in, I believe. You know what I mean? That's when it. wouldn't really test you as a president or whoever, whatever you want to call, the leader of your country. But I don't know. I just figure I think Hassan and I both just agreed that we figured we touched on this just a little bit because.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to be touched about. And speaking on it, like Ukraine's president, he's a bad man.
Zelensky,
bad man.
For those of you who didn't know, he used to be an actor. And I know the United States called him, I think 3 days ago, asking if he wanted out of the country. It was giving him an opportunity to get out of the country, come to the United States, and he said, "I don't need a route out. I need ammo."
Yeah.
If that shows anything, that's true
leadership
right there.
Yeah.
And I think Putin is a little frustrated with how things are going in Russia right now.
I mean, I know Ukraine is the second biggest country in Europe, but you're looking at Russia and you're looking at Ukraine's military. Russia nearly doubles in everything, nearly triples in some part. So the fact that Ukraine's putting up this fight and Russia literally has done nothing. Russia's lost more lives. They haven't claimed anything. They've destroyed more than they've claimed when their whole point is to overthrow the government and install a Putin-friendly government. They haven't done anything to show for it, and it just shows the fight.
And I think a lot of Russian soldiers don't want to fight. I know I've heard plenty of stories about that.
Yeah, I've seen videos like the guys, there was a tank stopped on the side of the road.
Yep.
Guys like, "Can I give you a ride back to Russia?" And the guy's like, "No, can you have a cigarette to drink?" He's like, "No, but why are you really doing this?" He's like, "I don't even know, man. I was pretty much sleeping and I got told to come here."
Yeah, and it's sad because there are a lot of people, a lot of Russian people that don't want this conflict, that don't like Putin. And I think he has come to that understanding. And I know a lot of people, I'm sure I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard stories that Putin will rig elections just so he can get reelected into,
I swear he's been in office for a long time.
I think he has. Well, I know he was in office, out of office, and then back in. And Putin, I think, is 69 years old. Yeah. So, what the other thing is scary, though, is with him being so frustrated with this conflict and how the things are going.
Are we going to get a target on our back by Putin by talking bad on him right now?
Probably not. He don't really care about a podcast.
If y'all don't hear from me, you know why.
With that being said, though, be careful with emails and stuff like that, too, whenever you're reading through your emails, because there are a lot of cyber attacks going around. I know Russian government cyber attacks have happened to big American companies, including Walmart. Target, I believe, was another one. So just be careful with what you're, reading and clicking on and stuff like that. I'm not saying don't worry about that all the time. I'm just putting that out there because
it's higher more than ever right now.
Yeah, and cyber attacks, I believe, is going to be kind of the new warfare so that we can save lives. I mean, I'm sure that will probably destroy some, but you get the point. It's not going to be hand-to-hand combat and killing, because everyone does realize that if we did get to that point, that there would be a nuke button pressed somewhere around the world. And
yeah, but even Putin's not that stupid to press the button, because he knows if he presses
I don't know if he's that stupid, but I think he's that crazy.
He is that crazy to press it, but he would be so stupid to do so because he knows exactly what would happen.
Yep.
He and everybody around him, that whole country would be disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he hits the U.S. Ooh, remember that? I'll play a clip. It was that you can react. We can react to it right now. And I can play a clip at the same time. It was the video of the "So Help Me God."
Oh, the ones with someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Yeah.
That was what was it, a general, right?
Yeah, we'll watch right now. Mark
Sergeant. No, it was a sergeant.
14 minutes.
Okay, 14 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
They're watching our every
Staff Sergeant
move.
David Believa.
Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Wow. Wow.
We
That's
fight.
Shivers.
that's the attitude. It kind of gives you like
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah, but that's. I feel like that you see that video like, oh, I'm not gonna go anywhere near the U.S. or
Yeah.
his allies.
That's the attitude the United States has always had, though.
That's the attitude I feel Trump's administration gave.
Yeah, in a way.
In a way, and this is not being cited at all. I'm just stating what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because what I see from this administration is a little bubble. I can just push a little bit.
Keep pushing,
Where
pushing.
Trump was literally a wall.
Yeah.
Like that's not even being metaphorical.
No.
It's literally a wall.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be very dumb for anyone to start a world war with, the United States, United Kingdom, all those NATO nations. I just think it's stupid. I know that I was talking to you last night. The Australia, United Kingdom, and the United States of America is creating a new defensive pact.
Yeah, it's about time Australia let their military help other people, because I know the United States needed the help and Australia is there to give it.
Well, that's good though. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
glad that I feel like. No, I don't know much about Australian conflict, but I feel like Australia's kind of tend to try to stray away from.
I mean, we have the best special forces in the world.
Mhm.
I think that's the best. Nobody comes near that. Maybe.
And
in
when he says
Canada,
we, he's speaking of Australia. For those
Australia,
who know.
I'm Australian American. So like, and then U.S. obviously has the best military power and just best military. When you think military, you think U.S.
Yeah.
Even if you're foreign. But Australia has the best special forces. I don't know how this is gonna work. I just feel like this is just another like stance up to this invasion, being
Mhm.
like, you're bonding more than you're destroying.
Yeah.
Just like a big middle finger.
Yeah, I think the scary thing is for me is that history will always repeat itself.
Oh yeah.
No matter what people think or say or do, history always repeats itself. We've seen it in the past, and we're going to see it in the future. And whether that be with global diseases like COVID-19, we've had the Spanish flu. There's always a global disease every about 100 years. We
Yeah.
had the Spanish flu in 1913, something like that. It was around the year the Titanic sank, I think.
Yeah.
Then
Then
obviously COVID now, and probably 100 years down the road we'll have something else. History tends to repeat itself on this world, and I know life is never fair for everybody. We all wish it was, but what's going on in Ukraine is uncalled for.
It's just wrong.
It's disturbing. There are millions of families that are now out of homes or whatever the case may be, fleeing from Ukraine. But there's also the few there that are staying to fight, like Zelensky. And I saw 2 heavyweight boxers out of Ukraine.
The mayor of Kiev.
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 What's his name?
Apologies for our American.
I can't think of his name, but anyway, he's the mayor.
Is
He
it
used to be a
like
heavyweight-
Vitali? I feel like it's Vitali.
Yeah, Vitali. The Vitali brothers, I believe.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, those 2 guys staying back in their country, they're millionaires. They could have easily fled, and they're staying back to fight for their country. Is huge props, huge respect. And I know you and I had a conversation that about the United States, that if push came to shove
Yeah, I was about to say that,
in the
yeah.
U.S., that I think there would be a lot of people here that would stand up and fight as
Yeah,
well.
somebody told me. I forgot who told us, but somebody's like, I don't really see that happening here. But I said, we don't know, because honestly, Ukraine, I feel like that Ukraine situation was all a build-up, and then it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see all these people popping up. So I feel like over here, if push came to shove, exactly what you said, there would be a lot more. You would be surprised, I would say.
We may be, as a country, politically divided,
Yeah.
but when it comes to being an American and knowing that we are all blessed to be in this country,
Yeah.
and knowing, everyone who lives here knows that they're in the greatest country in the world. I think it's a fair thing to say that even though we are very strongly politically divided, and that we've been through a lot as a country and as a whole, that we would all stick together if something bad were to happen, mainland
Yeah.
United States of America. That'd be a hell of a hard thing to do. I think there's 3 guns per person in the United States.
Yeah.
But
nearly 1 billion weapons.
that's just insane. It's unheard of. I think there's a saying is like every blade of grass in the United States is a gun, so you better be careful.
Yeah.
But I think the closest that we've ever been to mainland invasion was when Russia was, or I guess it was at the time Soviet Union, I believe, had missiles in Cuba. They were storing missiles in Cuba.
Yeah.
I have a story behind that. My grandpa's cousin, so he'd be somehow related to me.
Gruzin.
Was one of the 6 United States pilots that was flying spy missions over Cuba. It was like one of the most dangerous jobs at the time. Let me see if I can figure it out. But anyway, those planes would pretty much fly at low altitudes to pick up where the missiles were and take video recording, whatever the case may be. I want to figure out. I think it was the Cuban crisis is what they called.
Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah, Cuban Missile Crisis. He was one of the 6 pilots. I've got pictures of it too. It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
But that was the closest that the United States has ever come to mainland invasion, I want to call, or mainland. I mean, because I think obviously we've had the 9/11 attacks.
Yeah.
But I'm talking as of military presence.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know how people would see the 9/11 attacks as. That
was a terrorist attack.
That's not a military presence.
It's not another country.
Right. I guess there's a country backed by it, but, or not necessarily a country. It's more of a group of people.
Yeah, Afghanistan's more of like Afghanistan has like 2 different governments running it.
Yeah. I'm looking. Yeah, there was one guy that was shot down. He was a United States pilot. See how the death of the United States Air Force pilot prevented a nuclear war. So I guess there was 7. One of them died. He was the last 6.
That's cool.
And that was at the time where John F. Kennedy was president of the United States. So he's actually got photos with JFK, and I know that they ended up. I think when you get to a certain point as in military, they let you go and pretty much tell you to stay quiet because you know too much. So I think that's what happened to my Gruzin or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, like I said, this whole crisis is just
it's an eye opener.
It is,
because you think everything's like, you think all this stuff is done in the past, and you're like, whatever, I'm done. And then I was like thinking, I said, it's like the 21st century. Why are we still doing this? But then I was too young to remember like the other Russian invasions in my lifetime. What it's like it's gonna sound childish to say, but it's childish.
It is.
Yeah, I mean that's in
it's people holding on to their past and trying to repeat it.
Yeah.
And when
you got to move on,
you have to. And there's too many. There are plenty of good people in this world, but there are too many bad ones left. And a lot of that has to.
And the bad always outweighs the good.
It does. Well, and we see a lot of it, whether it be national media, world media, local media.
And it's like friends too. Like my friends, you can do a million good things. You do one bad thing, the whole light shine upon that one bad thing. Yeah, you're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, and they
throw everything away. Everybody only knows the one bad thing all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think nowadays the media does more harm than good. It really does. Like, I mean, I'm glad they're covering this topic, but again, they want to twist stories. They want to shine light on terrible stuff all the time, and I know that's what makes the money.
Yeah.
But it does a huge mental impact on society. We've been through a lot as society, and if money drives everything in this world nowadays, and people just go after whatever's going to make the most.
Yeah.
And media has fallen into that rabbit hole, and it's going to be a very hard thing to get out of.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to continue to get worse. So I don't know. That's about it. I have. So
it's pretty much our thoughts on the whole thing, what we think.
Just wanted to touch on it a little bit and
get something out there with that, because we do have 32 videos coming up.
Actually, it'd be how many divisions? 1, 2, 3, 4.
16.
There's 16 divisions.
Yeah, 4 in each.
Yeah.
No, wait.
No.
8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 8 videos coming out.
Oh, we have 8 videos coming out.
because we're going to break it down by division.
Oh, okay. We have 8 videos coming out.
So we got 8 new videos coming out, mostly football stuff. We just wanted to get, and I'm sure, don't get me wrong, there's going to be probably more videos that are non-sports related videos coming out as well.
You got to give us topics, though. We need more ideas.
We need more suggestions. So if you see this, whether it be clicking it on Twitter, just seeing it now on YouTube, again, make sure you watch these videos after this video is over with. And over here, click down, subscribe. But if there's anything else you guys want us to talk about, listen to, whether you're driving your car, watching us, whatever the case may be, just let us know. And again, happy birthday to my boy over here.
Thank you.
19th birthday. That's why we got the pinata.
Might as well.
But yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first edition of Behind. Yeah. Oh my God. Hassan. That's the point. Hassan.
You gotta click stop recording.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that?
Yes. As I was saying, welcome to the first ever edition of Behind the Down Under. Behind the Down Under? What does that even mean? Behind the Down Under. I think it's a funny